Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Market Today on Business Today Television. You're the finest show that there is on Dalal Street to navigate the daily trends in the market and, of course, pick you wonderful stocks for your long-term portfolio. I am your host, Shail Bhatnagar, on this wonderful Thursday morning in Delhi. Our greetings to you on the first Navratra. May the goddess shine upon us all. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin our task of trying to find out what the markets may throw at us on this fine 3rd of October. We'll start with the usual chart of the Nifty, and before we begin the normal discourse, let me just point out that the GIFT Nifty is pointing to about a 1 percentage point downtick, which is about 250 to 60 points for various reasons. Remember, yesterday was a holiday, and on Tuesday evening there were two developments that the Indian markets will now react to on Thursday, which is also the weekly expiry of the Nifty. Iran fired about 180 ballistic missiles towards Israel, and the tensions in the Middle East have risen dramatically. Essentially, the entire global equity and risk on world is waiting with bated breath to see Israel's reaction. 36 hours have passed, nothing much has happened, but a lot of activities expected, and that is the reason why you see this massive downtick in the GIFT Nifty, which is upon us. As also on Tuesday evening, the Securities and Exchange Board of India released its guidelines to curb speculation and reduce retail losses in the futures and options market. That itself is also a major sentiment dampener. With this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, now look at the chart of the Nifty. It is already at 21 a day exponential moving average, which is a major support in terms of sentiment. Anything below 21 EMA on any index or any stock means that the bears are in control of that sentiment or that index or that asset class, and anything above means that bulls are in control. With a 250 point gap down, ladies and gentlemen, you will be opening somewhere like 25,800 is what the close was. Another 250 down would take you to 25,550. Now, what is more important is that what will be the close for today. Remember, it's also the weekly expiry. The Nifty itself is down 1.3% over the past 5 trading sessions. It touched an all-time high of 26,275. From then on, at Tuesday's close, we have a 475 point downtick, and another 250 will take it down to 725. Is that correction enough? Only time will tell. Remember, for the last 3.5 years, we haven't had a dip more than 5%, and all purchases, all such dips have been purchased into. Only time will tell. But a close today will be an indicative whether the sentiment is bearish or bullish. Most likely you'll see a close above 21 EMA, so this dip is most likely to be purchased. This is what is happening on the Nifty. Apart from that, lots of stocks would be thick in trade because of SEBI's action on F&O, which will be in a series of regulated steps between 20th of November and 1st of February 2025. In principle, the number of weekly expiries per exchange will be reduced to 1, which essentially means that the Bombay Stock Exchange can offer either the Sensex or the Bank X, and for the National Stock Exchange it's a bit troublesome because they have 3 weekly expiries in the form of Nifty, Bank Nifty, Mid Cap Select and Fin Nifty. So actually 4 weekly expiries. That will have to be cut down to 1. It essentially means that revenue streams of brokers, of exchanges will come down dramatically. Therefore, you need to keep an eye out on angel broking, on Bombay Stock Exchange. Remember, the National Stock Exchange is not listed yet, but look at all broking companies like IIFL Securities, ICICI Securities, Geojit, IndiCap, IndiTrade, so many of them that are there in the listed space. Motilal Oswal Securities in particular should also be kept in mind. Apart from that, there has been a reduction, an increase in the size of the index contract from 5 lakhs to 15 lakhs, and margining system has also been improved. This will of course happen over the course of February 2025, but a knee jerk will be seen today. Apart from that, rising crude oil prices because of surging Middle East tensions will improve the prospects of Oil India and ONGC, but will be a pain point for paint companies and oil marketing companies. So we will keep that in mind. As also you have a lot of monthly data that has come in, especially from two-wheelers. Hero Motors will be in focus. This has been a star outperformer for the month of September, up 14% on the Nifty alone, and the numbers are dramatically better. 21% rise in volume sales for the month of September for Hero Motors at 5.97 lakhs. We will also keep an eye out on passenger vehicle giant Maruti. The numbers rose to 1.84 lakhs, up 1.9%. Cement will be in action. A huge amount of activity is now seen now that the monsoon has receded. Keep an eye out on Dalmia Bharat Cement. And lastly, and more importantly, it's the FII number which will now start impacting sentiment again. After Monday's 9,000 crore rupees sale, the number for Tuesday stands at 5,500 crores. Foreign institutional investors see more value in China, where although the index has risen sharply over the last 5-7 trading sessions, but relatively the Chinese market has been a huge underperformer when you look at it from the point of view of how India has performed. So there is a relative valuation gap which the Chinese markets are looking attractive enough, but the good point is they are closed till October 10th because of the Chinese New Year, and a lot of activity most likely will happen little later, but the FIs are most likely creating a dry powder for them to buy into the Chinese market whenever it opens. That is how the markets are structured for today. We will be shortly joined by Mr. Devin Choksi, Managing Director for DR Choksi Finserv Private Limited, from 8:50 onwards. A little later, Aditya Agarwal, Head of Derivatives and Technical Research at Sanctum Wealth, will be joining us. This is as good a time as any to look at how the FNO space has performed. Remember, over the last 1 week and in the previous two sessions on Monday and Tuesday, you had the national stock, you had the metal counters doing phenomenally well, and it was shares like National Aluminium up 10%, which hit a record high. You have counters such as Hind Copper, which have risen dramatically. Look at how Hindalco has again surged to a record high as far as the last 5-7 sessions are concerned. We have a very strong move coming into Tata Steel, JSW Steel. You have a record high on Vedant, 2.8% up over the last 1 week. So this is a space which is of huge interest for traders on the long side. So please keep these counters in mind. As also sugar shares, the top performing counter in the FNO space for the month of October so far is Balrampur Chini, 10.5% higher, a record high here, 10% up. A lot of positive impact on the government's move on ethanol, as also allowing sugar companies to divert cane towards ENA. So this is something that you need to look at, as also former favorites are coming back into action. Exide Industries 516, up 8.5% in the month of October. You have fertilizer stocks such as Chambal, you have GNFC, Deepak Nitrite, all of them showing gains between 5 and 7.7%. We have a strong move coming into oil marketing companies. Remember, till about 4 or 5 sessions ago, crude oil prices had dipped dramatically to 6-month lows, and that was a positive impact on oil marketing companies. In fact, there were talk that in this festive season you just might see fuel prices being cut, but these rising tensions in the Middle East now essentially mean that those fond hopes have faded away. But keep an eye out on BPCL, 6.7% higher, fresh record high. HPCL 5.5% higher, again a record high. You just might see some profit booking coming in. What are the stocks where you've seen some kind of selling pressure? That's on Jubilant Foodworks, so far down 5% in the month of October. Aurobindo Pharma 5% lower. Bandhan Bank, Muthoot Finance down between 5.1 and 4.5% respectively. Axis Bank tripping up a bit, down 3.7%. Devin Bhai will be logging in shortly. And Devin Bhai is with us. Good morning, Devin Bhai. This is a correction that the markets were, hoping for, and good investors such as you who buy the pain are perhaps now getting ready to dip into this corrective phase that has come in. What do you think is a good level on the Nifty? We are likely to open about 250 points lower. Is this a space to get into, or would you wait for a correction?
Well, significantly Nifty is correcting largely because of some of the heavyweights. The position offloading has started in some of the heavyweights largely because of the fact that I think there are some of the changes which have also happened and are happening in the market due to the technical factors, including the SEBI related regulations. This is creating some amount of unloading, offloading of positions by at least I think the other than institution players. And that's where I could say that I think there is a breakup light at this point of time. Unlike last month, when the higher amount of allocation of money also came in from the FPI side towards the ETFs and the index funds, that has also now taken some amount of breather, and I think a break has been applied. So to a greater extent, I think the way is on the other side. That is, I think the more amount of I think pressure is there on the selling side at this point of time, and that's the technical position in the market. On the top of it, I think the tensions which are happening between Israel and Iran, I think this is also creating a level of I think stress in the market conditions. So technically, market is becoming slightly weak, as I would call it as. And during this weakness, the fundamentals are not changing. That is a good sign. And on the contrary, in my viewpoint, I think some of the fundamentals remain very strong and are expected to, I think, remain, I think, even further strong. So I think some of the heavyweights like Reliance, which are basically dragging down the market today, they would become a buy opportunity eventually once I think the market is giving the space, I think, to buy at lower levels. So in my viewpoint, I think selective stocks should be looked at more than individual or other index level stocks. I think individual stocks would have more opportunities to look at, particularly when I think they come down sharply at the current levels.
Okay, so that's the view that is coming in from the market point of view. Devin bhai, cement. Why I ask this is that it's been a rank underperformer in a market that has rallied very sharply. Nothing has happened on cement counters, mainly because of either a very strong monsoon that we saw this year, and of course this overhang of tepid demand, slipping margins, immense competition. Now that the monsoon is behind us and relatively the sector looks undervalued, any one or two shares which you can highlight from the research team at KR Choksi, which our viewers can look at?
Yeah, actually, I think individually I remain very bullish about the prospects of cement, and probably I think this is going to play out significantly as we see more amount of infrastructure-led led construction activity continuing in the economy. Having said that, I think I'm also equally mindful of another situation that today the entire cement business has become a pan-India business. Earlier days, I think we used to have a significant amount of influence of the local players, but today I think the influence is coming in from the pan-India, which means that the companies, because of the pan-India presence, Ultratech and Adani Group of companies, ACC and Gujarat, These companies have actually the ability to drive the price. They have the ability to drive the logistic as well on the supply side part of the activity. So, in my viewpoint, I think like one has to be strong in the cement sector. I think for taking the positions, it will have to be
Hmm.
undoubtedly some of the pan-India players like Adani Group of companies or Ultratech. The regional ones, I think, who are expanding the footprints, they can be relatively better choice subsequently, which is, I think, like so Shree Cement on the other side. They remain, I think, relatively a safer play, I think, on a catch-up side. The structural change which is I'm seeing is in the area of the improvement in the margin. The energy cost, I think, which is now systematically being added with the renewable energy. So it is systematically coming down. And that's where probably I believe that many of the cement companies will have higher margin to talk about going forward. But that's a direction call. So in my viewpoint, I think given that direction, given the strong
Hmm.
demand scenario, the larger capacity companies, I think, would be the better choice to add into the portfolios.
And this is what we have seen that both Ultratech and Ambuja have emerged as two uh, universes in their own, and they are gobbling up uh, smaller and mid-sized cement companies to come out with probably a duopoly in cement as well. And Devan Bhai is of the view that big is beautiful as far as cement is concerned. There were very strong rallies in metal counters over the last 5-7 sessions, and metal, just as cement is now, about 2 weeks ago was beaten beyond recognition. Any favorites based on balance sheet strength, based on strong performance expectations that you would have in the metal space?
So the tailwind is extremely favorable for Vedanta Group within the metal. Largely because of few things. One, of course, the structural change which they are making, demerging the respective companies, leveraging the balance sheets. These are all structural
Hmm.
moves that they are making. And somewhere in the first quarter of the next financial year, we are likely to see this entire outcome playing out well. So if one is taking a position 6 months ahead of such event, then this is the right time to possibly, I think, bet on companies like Vedanta. On the other side, having said that, the commodity prices are remaining fairly stable and on the contrary form at this point of time. So that is giving a good amount of trust, I think, both to the ferrous as well as non-ferrous metals. And I think if this is a group which is basically playing the ferrous and non-ferrous metals, I think, equally well. So in my viewpoint, I think they are relatively a better choice at the same time. And third important point, I think, which I mentioned for cement, I think is applicable to even metals, in fact, more to metals is the area of structural costs of power coming down, energy costs coming down for them because of the addition of renewable energy portfolio into the consumption. Because of that, I think the blended cost of power units coming down for these companies and structurally it is going to go down in next 5 years as well. So there is a reason to remain extremely bullish about the prospects of metals going forward. And if one is counting direction call of next 5 years, probably I think every dip or every correction in the market because of variety of reasons would be a good opportunity to buy into some of these companies into the portfolios.
Fair. This is a very logical thought process that it's actually the expectations of a dramatic cut in power costs for aluminium smelters, which is one of the biggest drivers of profit and profitability for companies such as Nalco, for Hindalco, to some extent even Vedanta, is the primary driver of great expectations as far as the metal space is concerned. Let's again shift focus, Devan Bhai, on the likely impact of this Middle East tension on the crude basket. Higher crude oil prices, would you feel that ONGC and Oil India have corrected enough? Are these levels to get back into these counters, or you think because of tensions they may be available much cheaper?
Can't say with confidence, Shail, I think, on this subject because this is such a fluid subject. You have no control over, I think, how exactly the situation is playing out on one side. On the other side, I think both these countries are determined to finish each other. So we really do not know, I think, how exactly the consequences will play out. The third point, I think, which I am slightly more skeptical about, I think, is about the supply on the crude oil side. I think how exactly it is going to play out, how exactly the logistic is going to play out. These are some of the unknown aspects, I think, which are not very clear to me, at least this point of time. So it will be very risky to put across any kind of a direction call on this subject. Yes, I think there may be some near-term impacts coming in either on the up or downside. That's a different issue, but that's for traders. But if one wants to be investor, then definitely I think this kind of directional call effect I think is not something which is going to give you any confidence. So I am slightly keeping myself away at this point of time from public sector oil companies, and I would rather stay safe. I think at this point of time I think with the kind of reliance kind of which is basically playing out well on every account, despite of adversities everywhere. I think they're still playing out well on the oil to chemical business.
Okay, Devin bhai, just allow me a minute or so. Let me mark the pre-open prices which are upon us. This is getting to be a little worse than what the gift nifty suggested. Will this improve? Only time will tell. But 363 points down on the nifty in its opening quote, and the losses, ladies and gentlemen, are led primarily by Reliance, 3.3% lower, 2832, almost 100 points lower. Let's hope this improves for the better. What is being used by smart, deep pocketed traders and institutions? It's HDFC Bank. Remember, this is the highest weighted counter on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. It shows signs of at least a green tick, 4.5 rupees higher, although slipping 1730 in the green. Hindustan Unilever mildly in the green. I don't think so. They will hold on, but while Reliance is the second heaviest weighted counter on the Nifty at least, and it's down sharply, 3.5% lower. Now the Nifty slipping 382 down, 1.5 percentage points lower. Will this dip be purchased? We don't know, only time will tell. But Axis Bank down 3%, ICICI Bank down 44 rupees, 3.5% lower, L&T down almost 3%, Bajaj Finance down 2%. So this is a knee jerk that is coming in. Now almost 400 points down on the Nifty. Let's look at stocks which are in pain. I want to see what Bombay Stock Exchange is doing. This is a stock which should be impacted because of the changes that SEBI has mandated. 2 percentage points lower, 1380, 3780. How about Angel Broking? 1.9% lower, 2550. So there is a huge red gash across the board on all listed brokerage companies. Anand Rathi 1% lower, Geojit Financials 4% lower, Edelweiss 4% lower, IIFL Securities 8% lower. That's how the markets are taking it. Now the Nifty is down 400 points. Devin bhai, is this an overreaction?
Yeah, I think more than a reaction, I think it's something to do with the holding capacity of the traders. Frankly, I think up till now, in last many months and the quarters, the market has been a safe place to hold the long positions. Now, given the kind of volatility and uncertainties, including the technical issues, I think which have been created in the marketplace under change in regulations, I think the real test is coming in for the capacity to hold the positions that the traders have been holding. And the volatility, the options they behave or they misbehave, I think very significantly. So in my viewpoint, I think the current situation is slightly more, I think, concerning Also, from the point of view that I think the positions are held in the portfolios by most of the people, so they will technically have to play out well, if at all. I think that is so. I would think that I think the as an investor, there is something to do with having investments. If you have been sitting on cash and if this market has started giving you the opportunity at lower levels, I think the focus should be more on investing than I think playing trading calls at this point of time, in my humble view.
Okay, fair point. This is how it works as far as prices are concerned. Aditya Agarwal joins us from Sanctum Wealth, where he takes care of derivatives and technical research. Good morning to you, Aditya. Is this a knee jerk that you expected? Now a 425 point downtick, 1.65% lower. Are these entry levels? Should the falling knife be caught, or is there more pain ahead on Nifty and Nifty Bank?
Morning, Shail. Well, I mean, yes, definitely, it's a knee-jerk reaction which we are seeing in the market today. So if Nifty opens with a 400 or 450 point kind of cut, I think that will be a good entry point. On lower side, Nifty has a strong support in the zone of 25,300, 25,400 band, and around those levels, if Nifty gives an entry opportunity, it will be a good trading opportunity from where we can see a good pullback. Some of the large cap counters have given breakdown, and they are the pain points. Stock like Reliance, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, L&T. These are some of the stocks which have shown some sign of concern in last two trading sessions. But otherwise, if we are seeing very sharp sector rotation. IT is looking positive, chemicals and fertilizer is looking positive, metals, capital goods are looking positive. So I think that will be a good, and these sectors will be a good entry point in this correction. So if Nifty opens around in the range of 25,350, 400, I think that will be a good entry opportunity. Bank Nifty, if we see, is looking comparatively weaker than Nifty. Bank Nifty has closed below its support zone of 53,000 levels. So I am expecting that Bank Nifty may correct towards 52,000, 51,800 levels. But in Bank Nifty also in the zone of 51,800, 51,600, it will be a opportunity for a good pullback. So I'm not saying the market is going towards its previous highs, but yes, we can see a good short covering move from lower levels.
Okay, fair point, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember, in the first 15 minutes, or let us say the first hour of trade, we will not be doing anything on the Nifty or the Bank Nifty. We will let it for institutions to sort of make the first hour candle, and then depending upon how the second hour shapes up, either you chase the Nifty above the intraday high of that candle, or you chase the Nifty below the intraday low of that candle. It's going to be a tough ride. 344 points down on the Nifty. The Bank Nifty is trying to open 600 points lower. Similarly, the IT index is 450 points down, and the Nifty 500. Now, this is the broadest measure. Now, see how the market is perceiving this problem to be. Losses on the broadest index, which is the Nifty 500, are more than the Nifty. The 500 index is down 1.4%. The Nifty is down 1.3% in pre-open trades. Essentially, the sentiment on the long side, or the bullish sentiment on Dalal Street, has taken a very significant dent because of two developments: the rising tensions in the Middle East, and of course the SEBI circular, which is meant to curb speculation, meant to cut down on retail losses, that's created this issue. Let me just look at these numbers. The Bombay Stock Exchange has settled 59 rupees lower. You have Anand Rathi Securities down 1.1 rupees, which is 43. Geojit Financial 3 rupees lower at 162. Religare 2.5% lower, 286. And of course all other, a lot of other stocks in the broking space are falling in sympathy with the exchange, as also with the brokers, but they are not related to the F&O space. Nevertheless, it's a sentimental downtick. CDSL 1.4% lower, CAMS down 2% lower. Let's get Aditya back into the conversation. Aditya, anything that you can comment on strength in terms of stocks? How about Hero Motors? How about Maruti, Eicher Motors? Or should we just stay away from the market and let the big guys settle it out?
If we see, it means some of the large cap counters, the name which you mentioned from auto space, they are not looking weak. Means yes, they have rallied, and we are seeing a normal profit booking in these stocks. But if you see stocks like Hero Motors or Maruti, both these stocks are looking quite strong. Means yes, means Hero Motors have corrected by 7 to 8% from higher levels. But if we get opportunity to enter on 5600 or 5450 like kind of level, that's a good opportunity to enter into Hero Motors around those levels. On higher side, I'm expecting this stock can easily move towards 6,100 levels in next few trading sessions. Similarly, we see Maruti. This stock is trading in a range. 12,000 to 13,500 is a range for this stock in which it is trading for last couple of months now. Again, from higher levels, we have seen from the eastern zone of 13,500, some profit booking is there. But around 12,400 level, this is a good buying opportunity for Maruti also. So I think in this dip, which markets are seeing currently, these kind of quality stocks can be accumulated for a short-term pullback. In fact, if we hold long-term also Maruti, I'm expecting this stock is moving towards 15,000, 15,500 levels.
Fair point. We should also look forward to the eventual listing of Maruti's smaller rival Hyundai on the markets. That's supposed to be somewhere in late November or maybe late calendar 2024. So should be buoyant as far as the entire space is concerned. Let's look into some other prices which have settled. In particular, I am keen to look at what the auto space and in particular Tata Motors is doing. This is down 2.7%, 939. Please keep an eye out on this one. Charts are not really good as far as prices are concerned. Okay, in this day and time when you have a massive downtick upon us, let's look at stocks which are opening in the green. And I has mentioned ONGC and Oil India. Because of rising tensions in the Middle East, it means crude oil prices will firm up. Aditya, ONGC for you, a most recent record high was 340, now at 295. Is this a contra trade in the making for traders who prefer long side?
Well, that means not really. Means if we see when we see the charts have actually distorted, means we can see a pullback in this counter, but going beyond 302, 305 will be a little bit difficult for this stock. Yes, if the stock closes above 305, in that case we can see some reversal in the stock. In that case, ONGC may move toward 320, 325 also. But as of now, stock is trading in it's in a consolidation zone, and we are seeing some selling pressure at higher levels. In fact, if it breaks 290 or 288 on lower side, it can correct towards 270 also. So my view is not very bullish on ONGC at current levels. I would advise to book profit if it comes in the zone of 302 to 305 in today's trading session.
Okay, fair point. Please keep this one in mind. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, a 344 point downtick after a 475 point fall on the Nifty is not something that you buy into immediately. You wait for the index to go sideways, wait for the main trend to change into a sideways consolidation, and then maybe start sort of going into the market in very, very small tentative steps. Please don't do anything at all in the first 1 hour of trade as far as the indices are concerned. In this volatile segment, it is more important for institutions to set the trend. There is no point trying to fight the elephants. And as it is, we have that SEBI report which has said that 93% of retail investors end up losing a lot of their hard-earned money. So no point in being a hero We will quietly analyze the market and perhaps maybe step into the Nifty via an ETF or via a sensible equity diversified fund, which I shall discuss in the second half of this show beyond 2:30 p.m. We've tightened our seat belts and we are waiting for markets to sort of open. A 344 point downtick on the Nifty, which is the top loser in terms of percentage in the index heavyweights. It's Reliance, and that's really worrisome. 100 rupees lower, 28.30. And what are the smartest of traders doing to balance this fall on the Nifty? They are using HDFC Bank, the highest weighted stock, as a prop to not let pain get out of the way. Okay, it's not that bad, just 250 points down. Will this be purchased? Only time will tell, because today is also the weekly expiry of the Nifty. 500 points. There's a very sharp reversal, ladies and gentlemen. This is short covering of all those options trades that would have taken by smart traders on Tuesday on the short side. Very strong short covering on the Nifty. 25,582. 500 points down on the Nifty Bank at 53,361. 315 points down on the IT index, and it's not so bad for the Nifty 500 as well. Let us see how it goes. Okay, the only stock I need to see is HDFC Bank first. Okay, 5 rupees 85 lower, 1720. Reliance 43 rupees lower at 28.84. What I'm also doing is that I'm just clicking a small image of this one, because that will show you how the index has moved. Okay, Axis Bank 11 rupees 70 lower, ICICI Bank 18 rupees lower, Bajaj Finance 52 rupees lower. The index is slipping again to 260 lower. Let's look at ONGC. This is something I want to check. 1.5% higher, 296. Let's immediately look at the broking segment. Okay, BSE, ladies and gentlemen, is in the green, because people see BSE taking share away from the National Stock Exchange, which has 4 weekly expiries. BSE has just 2. So there could be an instance where market share could change. Aditya, I have to ask this one from you. Will you buy into BSE at current levels, 38.92?
No, it means, Shail, if we see, BSE has already seen a big move from 2,500 to 3,900, 4,000 levels. From those levels, some profit booking was seen, but see, risk reward ratio is clearly not in favor of buyers in BSE at current levels. If the stock comes in a zone of 3,500, it's a good buy. But at current levels, I won't really advise to buy BSE means at these levels. I would wait for a dip.
Fair point, and I really appreciate this very sensible view that you've put forward, because let's wait for the first 15-17 minutes of market to settle down. Okay, what are the top traded counters? Reliance 1.2% lower at 28.91. HDFC Bank flat 17.25. Eris Life Sciences, very interesting, about a percent higher, 13.35. ICICI Bank 1.3% lower. Tata Motors 2.2% lower. Bajaj Auto 2.5% lower. And what is in the green in the top traded counters? 2. JSW Steel 2.7% higher, 1054. R Power 3.9% higher at 53. I also want to see what metal stocks are doing, because they are the ones that will set the trend in terms of the gains. Okay, Jindal Steel and Power we've just marked. JSW Steel is 2.2% higher, and I want to see what Nalco and Steel Authority are doing. Okay, Nalco is showing signs of profit booking, no issues. They were at record highs for so many days. Ditto Hindalco. Which are the active counters? Okay, Vedant 1/3% lower. Tata Steel. So it's a steel play. Again, Aditya, I hesitate to ask, but any steel stocks that you find relevant, or should we just spend the first 15-20 minutes quietly?
Well, means metal space overall looks positive. Means we are not negative. We are building long position in whole of metal space, be it ferrous or non-ferrous. Jindal Steel and Tata Steel, both these stocks looks positive from short to medium term perspective. Means if we see Jindal Steel, it is trading in a range, but looks like a stock is going to break this range on higher side, and it can move towards 1185 to 1085 to 1120 level in next few trading sessions. So at current levels also, it's a good buy. One can continue to initiate long position with a stop loss of 1028. Initial target will be 1085. Above that, we are expecting target of 1120. Similarly, we see Tata Steel also, means this stock has found a strong support in the zone of 145, 148 consolidated. And last week we saw a good move. It has a potential to move towards 180, 185. It will take some time, but yes, stock can move towards 180, 185 levels. With today's low, one can initiate long position. On higher side, easily it can move towards 180, 185 levels.
Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the broader markets. It's pain all around. All 19 indices are down, and that's also visible in the advanced decline ratio. 330 shares in the green, just 330, and about 1800 shares in the red. So the advanced decline is in the favor of bears. For every one share that is up, there are 6 shares that are down. Look at the NSE 500, down 1%. Only 40 stocks out of 501 are in the green, 460 in the red. How about the mid cap index, which is the top loser? Let's see. Okay, it's the realty and the auto indices that are the top losers. How about Nifty small cap 100? 1.1% down, only 4 shares out of 100 in the green. The Nifty mid cap select 1% down, only 11 shares out of 100 are in the green. And now let us look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It's the defensive part of the market that is kicking in very well. Look at Aurobindo Pharma. This is the highest weighted counter. This is the highest beta counter that I have ever encountered, and it's either FMCG or pharma that is holding up the market. So Marico 3% higher, 717. You have ONGC 1.35% higher, 296. Eris Life Sciences 3.5% higher, 1370. And of course, you have stocks such as Petronet LNG 1.25% higher. Are there any all-time highs? Remember, this is the right time to look at all-time highs because this is where money is moving in despite the pain all around. Now look at the lovely story. Marico 3.5% higher. Aditya, please keep the chart ready. I'm just coming to you. Balrampur Chini, again the festive season. Look at Britannia FMCG 64.48, about 0.1% higher, and JSW Steel. So 3 plus 4, 7 counters are at a record high, including Hindalco and Polycab. Marico for you.
Well, means a positive stock means after good consolidation, stock has been gradually moving up. It was facing resistance in the zone of 700, 710 levels, and today's stock has broke that resistance zone convincingly. We are seeing some long position getting built up, so I'm expecting this stock can easily move towards 745, 760 levels. So today also it's a good day. It's up 2.5%, but then also long positions can be initiated with slightly positional perspective, 1.5, 2 weeks kind of perspective. And on a higher side, 745 to 755 will be the target, possible target for Marico.
Okay, again I'll mark the Bombay Stock Exchange, 3962, 2.6% higher, and it's also Angel One that has moved in the green. Let's look at the snap quote of Angel One. What was the low here? The low was 2450. And the counter is at 2650. Okay, so this is a very, very sharp one. To you, Aditya, what are the charts of Angel telling us? It seems to be okay. Let me just look at the long term chart. Okay, most recent low was 2000, and now we have 2600. We'll just keep an eye out on this one. Remember, the stock has corrected very sharply from 3700 all the way down to 2000, and now you have this uptick. Let's see how it goes. We're just marking the stock for you. What else is in action? Let me just point out. Okay, let's look at circuits. Those are good things to look at because they give you an idea where the money is moving in, and it's only into India VIX. Okay, this is the fear index, 13.01. The fear index itself is up 8.5%. That points to rising volatility in the market. Basically, option premia are sort of moving up and down dramatically. Okay, there are so many stocks that I'd like to mark. Pan Asia Biotech, 331, 5% upper circuit. Anything else that I'd like to mark? There are so many stocks on upper circuit, but these names can't be taken on air. Okay, Hercules Hoist, I had marked it 2-3 days ago. Again, 3.7% higher. Kitex Garments, 3.2% higher. 559. These are the 2 or 3 stocks that we are following up because of very sharp breakouts that have happened, and this is all that we will mark. Even McLeod Russell, another 5%. This is the tea company which Vaishali had pointed out is doing extremely well. Anything that catches your fancy, Aditya? The Nifty is now just 229 points lower at 25,571. We will still wait for the first 1 hour and for very aggressive traders for the first 15 minutes. What do you think is the thing as far as market sentiment is concerned?
Well, means I think in Nifty I will avoid for the time being, at least for next half an hour, which you rightly mentioned that after 10 o'clock only we should take a call in Nifty. But yes, if we see stock specific, lot of stocks are showing promising structure. In stock like Granules, means stock saw a sharp correction from 720, made a good base in the range of 520, 540. On Tuesday we saw first sign of short covering. Today we are seeing fresh long position getting built up. So I think Granules from these levels can show a decent return. On higher side, it can move towards 630, 640 also, which is almost 8 to 10% upside. And risk reward ratio, we see it is looking very attractive. Means with a stop loss of 570, one can buy at current levels, and target really 635 to 640. Stock is looking quite attractive, and we are seeing long position getting built up in this long term.
Okay, this is something that I need to look at. Eris Life Sciences, there's a massive breakout happening in a stock which is very sensible and purchased by very sensible fund managers. Eris Life Sciences today has a volume of, let me just check this, it's a rare event, 286 crores, and it is up 3.3%. Aditya, what are the charts of Eris Life Sciences telling you?
Well, stock is positive, means some profit booking was seen from 1500 levels, but stock found strong support around its 50 days moving average, which was exactly somewhere in the zone of 1220, 1230. And from those levels, again, stock has seen a U-turn. So I'm expecting that this stock can move towards 1450, 1418 levels in next few trading sessions. So at current levels also, it's a good buy. Keep a little bit deep stop loss of 1310 on lower side, but on higher side, I'm expecting it to move towards 1480 to 1500 levels in the next few trading sessions.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out on Eris Life Sciences, and as I had pointed out, the Bombay Stock Exchange, the finest that there is, and you have to give it to this stock. At its worst point on July 23rd, when all hell was breaking loose in the equity market in terms of changed regulations, the Bombay Stock Exchange made its final low at about 2200, and in a span of less than 3 months, it's at a record high at 4016. This will get better and better because now people are hoping that the Bombay Stock Exchange will take away market share from National Stock Exchange. Remember, National Stock Exchange is unlisted. So 4025 for you, ladies and gentlemen, and this is getting to be really good. So Eris Life Sciences is something that you need to watch, and you need to watch the Bombay Stock Exchange as well. Let's again look at some other markets which are clicking. A lot of screeners getting active because of very sharp burst in volume. Let's look at the contributors to the Nifty meanwhile, and pullers and draggers. 206 points down. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will start watching the Nifty because the first 15 minutes have lapsed. There is no surprise. Reliance, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank are the top losers. They are contributing 34 negative, 24 negative, 16 negative, 13 negative for M&M and L&T, which are pulling the Nifty higher. ONGC 4.9 points, JSW Steel 6.5 points. Okay, I want to see what is the low on the Nifty on an intraday basis, and of course what is the 21 EMA, because that is what needs to be taken back by the bulls. Okay, the low is 25,451 and we have recovered to 25,583. That means a 130 point uptick. Let's just look at the 5-minute candle. Okay, all three of them are up, and once it breaks above 25,600, then probably the momentum should be chased on higher than that. Okay, we'll keep an eye out on this one. Anything that you are observing, Aditya, any stock, any index that catches your fancy?
Well, among stocks, if we see, then among NBFC, Piramal Enterprises is one stock which looks quite attractive. Means stock is in consolidation zone, but today's low and open is same, and from those levels we have seen a pullback in the stock. So on higher side, I'm expecting this stock will move towards 1145, 1160 levels. So it's stop loss of 1094. One can initiate long position in Piramal at current levels, and we can see some 3 to 4% upside. Similarly, pharma is one space which is playing a contra call today, and we are seeing long position getting built up in Lupin, Sun Pharma, Olo Pharma, in all these three counters. So pharma will be another space in which long positions can be initiated. So I would like to go with Lupin at current levels with a target of 2255 to 2280 levels.
Okay, now look at the improvement that is happening on the Nifty. Remember, I took a photograph for the first second of trade, and let's look at Reliance. It's still down. It's at 28.91, but the low was 28.81. So a 10 rupee uptick from the low. Okay, let's look at Axis Bank. Okay, Axis Bank is slipping further, not a problem. Let's look at HDFC Bank. Okay, this is also slipping further. How about Lever? Okay, now look at Hindustan Unilever. It was down 49 rupees. It is now down just 9 rupees. So it's the defensive part of the market that is kicking in. Let's look at ICICI Bank. It was down 20 rupees. It is now down just 12. So recovery is happening, and recovery is happening not only on this one, but onto many stocks across the market. Look at the Bombay Stock Exchange, now up 5.8%. This one, Aditya, I am requesting you to stick your neck out, because I believe that you will see one of the finest recoveries on BSE. What is the all-time high? And this is coming again on a very important day for the market, which is a sell-off that has happened. Okay, BSE. God,
Well,
what a
means if
breakout. The all-time high is 4200. Aditya, what are you thinking?
well, I means if we are looking for very short-term trade, one can buy 4200 will be immediate resistance. If that is taken out, then I'm expecting 4480, 4500 kind of target in next couple of days. But yes, risk reward ratio is clearly not in favor. So very high risk trader should only initiate long position with a very strict stop loss of 3940. On higher side, 42 immediate resistance, above that 4480 will be the next targets.
Okay. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's again risky to step into the market at current levels, but these are trades that can make sense for you. Let's look at okay, all-time highs again. Polycab, how interesting. Aditya, Polycab for you?
Well, very, very interesting charts means and very strong charts. After big rally from 3500 to 7000, stock consolidated for like 4 5 months, and now has given a positive breakout. Means structure wise, very positive. I'm expecting that this stock, if we hold for little bit of positional time frame, it may cross 8000 levels also. So at current levels also it's a good buy. Means if you are looking for trading perspective, keep a stop loss of 7040. On higher side, 8000, 8200 will be the immediate short-term target in Polycap. So any dip in this counter can be used as a buying opportunity. Means after a long time we have seen a breakout in Polycap. I'm expecting that buying may continue in this counter till 8000, 8200 levels.
Okay. So the two stars for the day, ladies and gentlemen, are from the sector that has been worst impacted by SEBI regulations, and that is the beauty of the markets for you. In all this pain which will be inflicted upon the F&O space, on the broking community, and of course on the exchanges, you see the Bombay Stock Exchange flying, and I assure you it will make a record high today. It will go above 4200. That's the strength that $24.50. So a 200-point uptick on Angel One. A 200-point uptick is actually an 8 percentage point rally from the low. It is now 2.5% higher. Okay. What are the stocks that are recovering smartly? Any names that I can take for you? I'll avoid some, but definitely I'll mark Infosys. Is it in the green? Let's just check that. Yes, 6 rupees 20 higher, ladies and gentlemen, 1902. Now the Nifty is rising very, very rapidly, only down 192 points. Because it's the weekly expiry, let's look at the other side of the picture. Let me just look at the 25,600 call. And I'll, Aditya, also request your view on this one. 25,600 call, which will now expire for 10th October. 25,600, a second, is at 220 rupees. Would you have a view on this one? The reason why I want to point this out to our viewers is I want to see the low on the 25,600 call. Let me just get hold of it. What is your view on this one? The low is 151 and it is now at 216. Aditya?
Well, we will see a pullback in Nifty. Means I'm expecting that Nifty may again move towards 25,800 to 25,850 levels by next week. So yes, that call can be a good means trading opportunity. We won't be getting a very high returns as premiums have inched up sharply today because of a rise in VIX. So if it means at current levels also we can buy with a stop loss of 175, but return expectation should be decent, reasonable. If it comes in the zone of 300, 310, that's a good level to book profit in this 25,600 call option for next weekly expiry.
Okay, yes, this is the one that is coming on your screen. 25,600, 192. No, this is not the price. You need to refresh it. It is at 220 rupees for the moment. Okay, we will have it refreshed, but keep the thought process in mind that we waited for the first 15 minutes for the institutions to set up the first Nifty candle for the 15 minutes. Remember, there was very, very, very heavy short covering in the first 1 or 2 seconds of the market, first 1 odd minute, and from then on the Nifty slipped a bit, but now on the way to recovery. The market seems to be purchasing this dip. Only time will tell. Remember, we are at the classic level of 21 EMA on the Nifty, which essentially means anything below that the bears gain confidence, anything above that the bulls come back in the reckoning. The Nifty has already corrected from 26,280 to yesterday's to this early morning drop of about what was the low? 1 second, let me just check on the low. That's a very, very severe correction that had happened on the Nifty, and this is the low being 25,450. So 270 minus 450 would be 270 plus 550. Roughly, you have a correction of about 800 points, and that has been purchased. Now, a close today above 200 DMA would be immensely beneficial. So now we are tracking the 25,600 Nifty call for you on the long side, which is for the expiry of October 10th. Remember, we are at the weekly expiry today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what is helping the Nifty higher? Let us see. Infosys in the green. Let me just look at the picture that I had clicked, because that will give me an idea about how stocks have moved. Okay, Axis Bank 16, L&T is actually worse off, down 55 now at 35.97. That's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. What attracts you, Aditya, in the market now? Anything worthwhile? Granules is doing very well.
Well, Tata Power will be another stock, means which can be kept under the radar and which long positions can be initiated. Means last week, if we see, Tata Power gave a very good breakout, strong breakout about 465, 470, and stock rallied till 490.95, so fizzled out from those levels. But again, it retested its resistance support zone, and we are seeing a fresh buying interest in Tata Power. At current levels, also it's a good buy. I'm expecting that stock can easily reach 500, 510 levels. So at current levels, one can buy with a stop loss of 470. On higher side, 500 will be first target. Next target will be 510.
Okay, that's a very strong move coming into Tata Power. What else I would like to point out? Let's look at again the list of all-time highs, which now has Coforge. This is an interesting thought that's coming into the market. I'd first like to mark the Nifty IT index. It is the low. Let us mark the low for today. It's 41943. 943. Okay, so that's about 50 points and 300 points. A 300 point uptick, almost 360 point uptick on the Nifty IT index has happened from the day's low. That is something which is really heartening. And similarly on the NSE 500, let us see what was the low for today. The low is 23,931 and we are at 24,120. So that's 70 points plus 20 points, a 90 point uptick. And ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the advanced decline ratio, which remember was 6:1 favoring bears. There were 1800 stocks in the red. Now only 1570 stocks are in the red. Remember, there were 300 stocks only in the green. Now 644 stocks are in the green. We had none of the indices in the green out of the 19 that we track. Now 3 of them are in the green, and that's the beauty of the market. It's the defensive nature. Pharma index up 0.2%, metals index up 0.5%, the IT index showing signs of recovery, and strong moves coming into mid cap and small cap. Also please note the stocks that we are tracking. Eris Life Sciences from the pharma space, the steel counters, JSW Steel, Jindal Steel and Power from the metal space, and of course 2 stocks, blowout performances, the Bombay Stock Exchange 7% higher and Angel One 3.9% higher. Anything else that you've observed, Aditya, in the market? Now 9:45.
Well, chemical is one basket which has been performing quite decent for last 2-3 days. In fact, on if we see Monday or Tuesday, they played a contra call. When markets are falling, we were seeing continuous buying interest in chemical basket. Tata Chemical has given a decent breakout on Tuesday. Stock has rallied, but overall structure-wise, it looks like it is moving towards 1185 to 1220 levels. So at current levels also, it's a good bet where long positions can be initiated with a stop loss of 1115, and 1185 to 1200 will be the possible targets which I'm expecting in Tata Chemicals. So this is one stock in which long positions can be initiated. Second sector will be a cement sector. Means if we see cement, means again on on Tuesday we saw some green shoots in some of the cement counters. Shri Cement is one stock which is showing some strength. Again today from lower levels we have seen a good pullback in this counter. I'm expecting that this stock can move towards 28,000 levels. So in Shri Cement also long position can be initiated at current levels.
Yes, and before you joined us, Aditya, we had Devan Bhai from KR Choksi with us, and Shri is a stock that he had mentioned as well. Let's take a detour into the FNO space. The Nifty is fighting a battle at 25,600, which is also the 21 EMA. So the bulls and the bears are battling it out at this level. Top gainers, either from the metals counter or for granules. Granules is a stock that was marked by Aditya as his first pick. Remember, till about 15 days ago, granules was in deep problem with the US FDA in terms of how it maintains its records for medicines that are exported to the United States. And from that dip, there seems to be a purchase that is coming back into it. It's a classical day in the FNO space. Strong moves coming into Reliance, HDFC Bank, Tata Motors from intraday lows. These are the top traded stock futures. And where do you see volumes rising very sharply? It's Dabur, it's Marico, both of them from the FNO FMCG space. Clicking in the green, ladies and gentlemen, and from day's low are the metal counters. NLC India, I'll request Aditya to please take a look on this one. The low for NLC India is 279. The counter is at 286, still down about 1%, but it's the recovery that is getting purchased into in very strong counters. Look at India Cement. It is actually in the green, and I had pointed out that cement is doing pretty well. India Cement, ladies and gentlemen, now about 2 rupees 80 higher at 367. Strong showing across the board. This dip is getting purchased. Nifty is now down just 0.7%. We will live with it. Aditya, what are you watching?
Means among banking space, I think SBI can be one stock which can be kept under the radar. Means among PSU today we are seeing that selling pressure is more in private sector bank as compared to PSU banks. In fact, in PSU banks on lower levels, some amount of buying interest is there. SBI is trading in a range, but structure wise, it looks like it worst is over for SBI, and it can move towards 835 to 840 levels in next couple of trading sessions. So risk reward ratio is clearly in favor of buyers with a stop loss of 791 can buy SB at current levels with target of 835 to 840.
Okay. What else is moving? Look at Style Bazaar. This was a recently listed IPO, now coming back into strength. 8% higher, 417. Reason I need to mark this is because the IPO had undergone a very sharp sell-off. Okay. Remember, the first day high was 431 rupees and the most recent low is 340. So today was a gap up. The high was tested 428. Let us see what the next 2 or 3 days bring. This has a very low listing history, so there is no point taking a technical view, but the volume is substantial today, somewhere like how much? 112 crores has been traded. Shakti Pumps 5% upper circuit. This is at 4,708. Look at KSB Pumps as well. This is also doing dramatically well. KSB Pumps is actually a 5-for-1 stock split. In strength is Grasim. Let's look at the top winners in the Nifty space. What are the stocks that are doing and moving in the green? That will be visible here. Just a moment, please. JSW Steel, ONGC, Tata Steel, Grasim, which we've marked. SPI in the green, 0.5% higher. Ultratech Cement, 1/3% higher, 11,890. And the pharma guys stepping up their support for the Nifty. Dr. Reddy's in the green, Sun Pharma in the green, and Coforge, that's taking it away. A fresh record high, 7,202. The counter up 1%. This is something that Aditya has already marked. Aditya, the charts continue to get better and better for Coforge.
Well, yes, means definitely means if we see a whole IT pack, this is one of the strongest counter. Means any decline in whole IT pack means we are not seeing that kind of correction in Coforge. Any dip is being bought into. So we are very bullish on Coforge. I'm expecting that this stock can move to a 7,600, 7,650 levels in short term. And now again, last 3 days we are seeing a buying after a good consolidation. So means at current levels also it's a good buy. Means with a stop loss of 7,100, one can buy. And a higher side 7550, 7600 will be the possible target.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, I cannot sort of hold myself back and mark the Bombay Stock Exchange. Now the top traded counter on the our markets and fresh intraday peak 7.5% higher, 4150. Slowly, Angel Broking is also rising in the list of most actively traded stocks, now up 4%. It's reclaimed 2700. Remember, today's low was 2450, which is 250 rupees uptick on the stock from day's low. This is a great day for both these counters, and this how should I say, setting up of a testing of an intraday low of Angel 1 and the breakout into a record high territory for BSE are signals for long-term investors to chase momentum. What else is moving? I think Aditya, it's going to be a day for the cement stocks. ACC in thick trade as far as prices are concerned. You've marked Shri Cement. Let's look at Ramco. This is showing an uptick in open interest, not much, but Grasim, 0.5% higher, 28.28. Remember, the government has officially declared the monsoon for 2024 as ended, and that's added that much uptick into the sentiment on cement counters, which had languished for more than 4 or 5 months. Any stock, any screen that you would want to revisit? I have a list of about 30 cement companies. Let us just see whether the trend is deeper into the mid cap ones. Okay, this is India Cement that I have marked, Ramco 882, Dalmia Bharat. Okay, your view on Dalmia Bharat Cement, Aditya? 1962, 1/3% higher, and what was the low for today? 1932 was the low. We are at 1963. What are the charts of Dalmia Bharat telling you?
Well, if we see any of the cement stock, be it ACC, Ambuja, Dalmia, Shri Cement, or Ramco, charts are looking very fantastic. Means they are on the verge of giving a very good, strong breakouts, and after long consolidation. Similarly, if we see Dalmia Bharat, it has some minor resistance around 1960, 1970 range, which is also 200 days moving average. But once that is taken out, I'm expecting we can see some 8 to 10% kind of move in Dalmia Bharat also. It can go beyond 2100 levels. So structure-wise, stock is very positive. It may take some time, but from these levels, means there is not much to lose if we compare risk reward ratio. Means hardly a correction of 50-60 rupees, but on higher side, upside can be 200 rupees plus in Dalmia Bharat. So one can buy at current levels Dalmia Bharat with target of 2100, 2150. On lower side, stop loss will be 1920.
Okay. The first 40 minutes of trade are now over. The battle for supremacy between the bulls and the bears is being fought at 25,600. People are now pausing for breath because it's also the weekly expiry of the Nifty, and of course you have some very strong buying happening into the broking space. Remember, I had marked NLC India at 286. Look at the counter now. It's coming out in style. 292 is what I see. What is the record high for NLC India? This was on July 16th. It was beyond 300, 311. Okay. Let us hope you see better days on NLC India. And it's the entire banking space which is making a dramatic comeback. You have PNB, which is just coming out with its report on how the last quarter went by. You have Bank of Baroda at day's high. Let's look at the entire PSU basket. Has it settled for the better? Just a moment. There's so many software that are open on my screen. Okay, PSUs. Okay. SBI we've already marked. I want to see what is happening in the Nifty PSU banking stocks. Anything that catches your fancy here, Aditya, on the PSU banking side?
Well, other than SBI, Bank of Baroda will be the next top pick among PSU banking, and I think next few trading sessions we will see some buying in PSU banking, and they may outperform private sector banks. It means the last couple of trading weeks, PSU banks were totally laggard. Means you are not seeing any kind of pullback in PSU banks, but now from these levels we can see some role reversal where PSU banks will take a lead. If we see Bank of Baroda, it can easily move towards 265, 275 levels. So from these levels, we can see some 8 to 10% kind of move in Bank of Baroda. In this also, risk reward ratio is clearly in favor of buyers with a stop loss of 244. One can buy at current levels. On higher side, 270, 75 will be the immediate target.
Okay, lot of documentation coming in from PNB in terms of how their last quarter was. Let me just read them out for you. The PCR will fire a chart of the Punjab National Bank. Bank says local deposits up 3.5% quarter on quarter as on September 30th. Remember, the fight in the economy is now for time deposits. Lot of people are moving their savings, or a part of their savings definitely, towards the stock market, which is visible in the rise of systematic investment plans on a monthly basis. This is the same money that was earlier kept in fixed deposits. So this is a good sign that PNB is saying that quarter on quarter you have a strong growth in deposits. How about advances? Well, they have also risen by 2.8% quarter on quarter. So deposit growth is strong Q and Q, and credit offtake has also improved. Global businesses seen at 3.5% higher quarter on quarter, 12% year on year. Domestic season business has seen a growth of 3.2% quarter on quarter and 11.3% year on year. Okay, that's what is happening on Punjab National Bank, but this is as good a time as any to shift our focus on the IPO market. Tekera Engineering will get listed today on the National Stock Exchange. The company came out with an issue of 82 rupees. 35.9 crores was the
May we request all of you to
size
kindly
of the
come closer
issue,
for a group picture?
and we are just waiting for the first price of Tekera Engineering to come in. It is still a couple of seconds away. It was an IPO of 35.9 crores, oversubscribed about 60 times, and the lot size is 1600 units, and the first quote should be upon us in less than a flash of a second. Let me just try and get that quote for you in terms of the IPO price that has come in. My apologies, we can't get it for you now because it's not getting updated on either of the exchanges. We leave it at that, and that draws us to a close for the first show. Now the Nifty is 232 points lower, 25,550. The initial frenzy of the sell-off seems to have abated. Only time will tell how Nifty will shape up, but so far the bulls have held out on their own, and let us see how the Nifty closes. Bank Nifty down 525 points, Nifty IT down 220, but the stars of the show today have been the Bombay Stock Exchange, which is now at 4153, 7.6% higher, top traded counter despite the issues with SEBI. Angel One almost 4% higher, 2700 for you, and of course a whole host of stocks from the index seeing buying support at lower levels. We've seen the Nifty dip to 25,450. From there we are at 25,550, so a 100-point uptick. Aditya, the last word belongs to you.
Well, means if we see index, means index is still means we are seeing some bout of profit booking, like Bajaj Finance, L&T, both these stocks. Similarly, HDFC Bank are showing some sign of selling pressure. So index I will avoid at current levels. I think we can see some more volatility in next half an hour, 1 hour, and then market should settle. But again, as I said in my opening remark, that if Nifty comes in the zone of 25,400, 25,350, that's a very strong support zone, and that is a good level to enter into long position in selected large cap counters, and from those levels we can see a good pullback. PSU banking will be one space where one can focus from short to medium term perspective.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joining again at around noon, but till that time keep your seat belts tight and look for value buys in the market. It's an exciting day on Dalal Street today. Thank you for watching.
मेरा तो मत है कोई भी पार्टी की सरकार हो, सरकार को दूर रखो। सरकार ये विषकन्या होती है, जिसके साथ जाती है उसको डुबाती है। ये आप इनके लफड़े में पड़ो मत, जो सब्सिडी लेना है ले लो, पर ये कोई कब मिलेगी कुछ मिलेगी कोई भरोसा नहीं होता। अभी मेरे लड़के ने मुझे परसों हमको 450 करोड़ सब्सिडी मिली है और पैसे जमा है टैक्स के, तो बोले